The following presentation contains content that some individuals may find sensitive or distressing.
Hi everyone, this is Bailey and Michael from Dungeon Studios. We just wanted to take a moment to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of our listeners. Your support and enthusiasm means the world to us.
Hi, it's me, Michael. As the media director and the sound editor for Fables from the Forgotten, I echo Bailey's gratitude. We wouldn't be here without you, and your feedback and engagement drive us to keep improving.
We are thrilled to let you know as we continue to move through Season 1, it's been an incredible journey, and we are already working diligently on Season 2 to bring you even more thrilling stories.
Absolutely, Bailey. And as we gear up for the rest of the season and beyond, we'd love your help in spreading the word. If you enjoy our podcast, please share it with your friends and family and grandma and subscribe to our channels. Your support helps us grow and reach more listeners like you.
Thank you once again for being a part of this journey with us. We can't wait to share what's coming next.
Stay tuned and happy listening. Did I say anything about subscribing? I did. Subscribe.
You did. You said subscribe, and
Okay.
That's really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, this is a new visitor for the records. At least those I have revealed. No human approaches this time, instead a dwarf. We have had plenty, but none have come up for discussion. But for this visitor, he is hard-bitten from the trail, a rifle at his back, in armor designed for long travel. He is a world-weary sort, with eyes that have seen pain. His beard is well kept, and his nose, that indentation on it. It shows much to one who is familiar.
A tavern. Here. Now what is an orc? And you? You're one of those half-dead types, aren't you? The Curseborn. A motley crew, are you not?
Is it wise to insult your hosts like that?
Especially since the manner of our birth is not something we can control.
Mayhaps. But I've seen plenty of people who live down to their birth. I served in the wars.
The Elvish Wars. Oh, you must have some stories.
Is that what you last remember?
Last remember? No. I got out of those wars. Survived. I got myself a wife. And my stories from those wars. There are stories you tell at a tavern, and stories you don't. My war stories aren't the stories you tell.
What a pity. But what stories can you tell? Hopefully a good one.
Well, I do have one. Still, why are you so interested? You aren't just a pair of bartenders.
Ah, clever of you. This is the Scourge. This is where all mortals, save clerics, reach their final judgment.
And you are, fortunately, no cleric. Unless there is something you are not telling us.
Well, my dad always said I'd make a good one. But I went into the military instead. That was a mistake. But when the Elvish Wars started, well...
You seem surprisingly calm. Most are at least a little shocked.
I was a soldier. We're used to dying. Expected it far earlier, I confess. So, well... How do you know I'm not going to embellish a bit?
You are a clever one. We know the truth of any statement made, and the answer to any question we ask. Only in generalities, admittedly. Hence the necessity of the interview. But this does mean we know if someone is avoiding a question, or if someone is blatantly lying. And if that happens, there's always Aerith's kitty.
He is out on another assignment. I miss him.
Well, best to get started then. Last thing I remember, me and my wife were traveling through Elven territory. Why is another story entirely. But we'd had a few accidents.
What kind of accidents?
Lost guide, lost boars. Dire boars, good ones. Best for running a wagon in that terrain. We had to get a new guide, and some new boars. Unfortunately, it led us to deal with perfidious foes.
Perfidious?
Deceitful.
I know the meaning, just surprised to hear you say it.
It's a good word, strong word, and perfectly describes our new guides. Can you tell them to give it a rest, elf?
What do you mean, Master Dwarf?
Venomous-tongued elf, with a lifetime of lies. I wouldn't have believed any answer he gave me. Still cannot believe we had an elven guide. But after our dire boars died, and our first guide died, my wife and I had to take 2 elves on. At least the second one was more tolerable than our guide.
And how did your first guide die?
He had ale belly. Terrible disease. Your belly swells up like a keg of ale, and then spits everything out. Like a keg of ale. Heard the elves call it the gurgle plops.
Terrible way to go. I should write that down.
We only had half a day to get there, and we couldn't afford to make camp. I was in the Elvish Wars. I knew well the danger of staying overnight. We rode in silence, just the creaking of the wagon wheels. At least, until we heard it.
Was that...
Aye. It came out of nowhere, too. Been nary a damn cloud in the sky. Still none to be seen even now.
So, maybe it'll miss us completely?
Dear, with everything that's happened, I don't count our luck as being anything close to good. Boars! Yeah! Sylvain, our guide, was impassive as ever. Harrowing, who joined with our replacement boars, was attentive, focused. Whether he was worried about his safety, or was focused for other reasons, I could only speculate. Damn! The boars can't keep a grip in this mud! We'll hide under the outcropping.
Love, will we still be able to catch the others?
I'm not sure. Frankly, I'm more worried about making it out of this ravine tonight.
How long will the rains last?
They came out of nowhere, so hopefully they move on just as quickly.
These are the Lothorin rains. Storms of legend that appear out of nowhere, that last until the gods have quenched their thirst. Could be hours, could be days, months even. This wagon will not be moving until tomorrow at the earliest. You should set up camp for the night.
What cruelty there is to the gods, to thirst so much for the pain of innocent mortals.
The day I take orders from an elf will be the day I'm dead. We set up camp when I say we set up camp.
As you wish, Master Dwarf. If it's all the same to you then, while you're contemplating, might I gather wood for a fire?
Oh, I like him.
My dear, do not let your personal opinions reflect the judgment.
And you have not.
Very well, elf. But hurry back. If these rains let up and you've not returned, I'm leaving you. Good, he's gone. The situation worries me. We're likely to be stuck here tonight, and with those wolves, we need to be on our guard. Especially with that other elf Harrowing here. We do not know. Grab your axe!
Grabbed it, you!
I have all I need with hammer shot. Just make sure none get up here. I unslung my rifle and crawled on my belly to the back of the wagon, settling into a prone position. It was at home, pressed deep into my shoulder, the indentation on my nose fit in the side of the barrel, like a puzzle piece finding its place.
It was special too?
It had been by my side since my first whiskers, crafted by my own hands. A rite of passage back home. Most remade their rifles within a year, correcting their mistakes. Hammershot was unchanged since the day I completed it. It had never failed me, not in all the Elven Wars, in barroom shootouts. I could only see about 12, maybe 15 feet. A wolf like that, I'd get barely a second to down it. I waited, raindrops splattering on my rifle, until movement. The grey wolf lunged at the wagon. At 1,000 feet in a second, the monster's skull couldn't stop the iron slug. I did not even move from the sights as I chambered another round. A second wolf, right between the eyes. Next shot ready before its corpse stopped moving. Movement, but the angle was wrong. The wolf knew what was coming somehow. I tried to swing my rifle to face it, but I was too slow. Its maw wrapped around my arm before I could fire. It landed with my arm in its mouth, but couldn't handle the maw. We both slipped, but I recovered first. Its head snapped backwards, teeth ripping through my supporting arm.
Watch out!
And there was a wall of rain, and a pair of legs disappearing into it. Where? What is it?
That elf jumped out. I was worried he was coming after you, but he ran the other way.
I don't see him returning. Let me get back in place, in case he does. Minutes passed, with nothing happening. I tried to reload Hammershot, but with my arm the way it was arduous.
Where'd the wolves go?
Dunno. There should be more.
Well, at least let me bandage that arm for you before it gets worse.
Of course.
What now?
We cannot stay here. Being stuck here feels like part of some plan by those elves. Healthy boars suddenly dropping dead. Our first guide's illness. An elf rancher having spare boars to loan. But only if you rode along. Guiding us to this ravine as a shortcut. Wolves on our ass the entire way. It's too many coincidences.
The wagon won't make it through this mud though.
Those boars will. Hold Hammershot. Keep watch. I'm going to cut them loose. Be ready to leave when I get done. I'm sure those elves are still out there. Neither boar seemed agitated. It was odd, but Sansa ordered them to remain still and wait. Their unexpected calmness was a blessing I wouldn't question. The work was easy, and soon I was heading back. When I noticed the first wolf I'd shot wasn't there. All the carcasses were gone. Hilda, what happened to the wolves?
What do you mean? There haven't been any since the attack?
No, the bodies.
I have no clue. Nothing came by while you were gone.
We have to go. Now!
Wait, why? What's going on?
There's no time! Get to the boars! I saw this in the war. We have to... Too late. They're dead.
Going somewhere, Master Dwarf?
I whipped my head around and pulled Hilda down behind the dead boar. I wedged it between the boar's chest and a jutting arrow. I just needed a hint of movement.
Where's Anidriel? The rain stopped and I haven't heard her wolves for some time now. Might you have had something to do with that?
I've no clue who Anidriel is, but I'll send her to hell right alongside you.
Oh, you dwarves are all the same. How we ever lost to you half-wits confounds me. Ah, yes. Is Iron still in the wagon? I'd rather not injure one of our own, you see.
Like you don't know. I'm no fool. I know he joined you the moment he was out of my sight.
Interesting. Well, it looks like he's on nobody's side then. I'll have to pay him a visit after I finish to confirm his allegiance.
And then I saw him. 100 feet down, a glimpse of his golden hair. I only needed him to shift position just slightly. I could even tell where his head would pop up when he moved. I was so focused, I almost missed the sound of faint splashes to my right. 2 elves, crouched low, were a few feet from Hilda. She hadn't seen or heard them. I rolled towards her, swinging around hammer shot. As it neared lining up, I lifted it just slightly and fired. The slug travelled straight and through, connected with the lead elf's chest, exploding out of her back in a red mist. Its trajectory continued, faster than a second elf could process, travelling through his eye socket, brain, then the back of the skull. Both collapsed simultaneously. All you damned elves are the same! Sneaky little... Sylvain was floating 4 feet above the ground, arms pinned behind his back. Harrowing was behind him, right arm extended, magic at his fingertips.
By the authority of the Mage Martial Corps, for the murders of no less than 100 dwarven and human settlers, I, Harrowing, place you, Sylvain Lothloren, and your gang under arrest. Well, you and Anidriel. Seems our dwarven host took care of Calantha and Islam.
And as I watched, his features shifted. Gone were the pointed ears and sharp features of an elf, replaced instead with the quite rounded ears and crooked nose of a human. He gestured, dropping Sylvain face down in the mud. Another flick and a pair of dire boars materialized out of thin air, and the boars we were using for cover disappeared. He loaded Sylvain onto the back of one boar, and some other elf went on the other.
What's happening? I've been keeping my head down.
I have no idea. Our elf passenger was actually a human? A mage? A marshal?
I believe I can explain. Thank you for your help, though. We're sorry for involving you. We had to trap the whole gang, not just Sylvain. So we needed a ride with him into the ravine. The law's been after him for quite some time, and this was the perfect chance. When he approached you after your first guy took ill, we couldn't wait. We're just lucky you're such a good shot, Mr. Thordar.
How did you know we'd need your boars? The ones you summoned? What if we did not need any?
Simple, really. It was my job to make sure you would need them. Don't worry, the Corps is going to reimburse you.
And that's my story. The last thing I remember. I don't even remember dying. Well, judges, do what you must. I've lived a good life. Married well. Wish I had kids, but that's what happens. I'd always thought maybe someday. But that's fate. Condemn me, banish me, forgive me. Whatever is your choice.
I fear there's been a bit of a misunderstanding. You see, you're not the one being judged here.
We merely needed a witness to another's deeds. As I said, Goliath was busy, and you were sleeping so peacefully, you were practically dead.
Wait. I'm just asleep. You can do that. So if I'm not dead, who are you judging?
What trickery is this? Why am I in this filthy tavern? An orc? I hope it doesn't taint me with its touch, or its hag's brew. Wait, I know you.
You elven dickhead!
I apologize for my obfuscation, but it would be wrong to spoil the ending. At least Thordar will have a story for his grandkids. Yeah, when they arrive. You know what? I'll get back to you later. Very rarely will I have so much fun watching a judgment. See you on the next
Fable from the Forgotten.
The Dwarven Trail. Original story written by Clifford Marcone. Script adaptation by Charles Mitchell Lord. Produced by Dungeon Studios. Directed by Josh McGinnis and Michael Riley. Edited by Michael Riley. Starring Tyree Mapson as Alabaster the host, Hannah Stoltz as Aerith, Tim Roberts as Oregon, William Lanham as Thordar, Sophia Stavanovich as Hilda, Sam Quitentin as Sylphaean, The Upright Man as Araluin. Okay, was that good? Can I go now? I miss my family. Can I please go?